Okay guys, we've got a bunch of products here at First Man. We've got our men's lifestyle supplement, which is everything that a man needs on a daily basis. We've got our natural diuretic supplement, Defined, which allows you to get an angular face, removes all the water, especially good for summer. We've got our Male Advantage book, which is a paperback. You can order this, or you can get this in audiobook format or ebook format. We've got our Better Looking Man course, which I'll bring up pictures on screen now. And we've got my personal diet plan and fitness plan in ebook format. On top of this, guys, we've got a body wash coming out soon, part of the testosterone friendly range. We've got men's boxers and a whole clothing line coming out soon. A whole bunch of products, but for now, let's get back to the video that you actually wanted to watch. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to get straight to the point because there's nothing fluffy around it that I need to dress up beforehand. I played football again for the first time in 6 years at my dad's charity game. You guys saw the video where I was doing the speech. And this is what I learned. And I was thinking of this when I was driving home. I was driving back from the game and I was like, that's so interesting to me. Like, it's just, I knew this would happen, but it's so interesting to me because 6 years ago, I made the decision to stop playing football, to stop playing sports. I didn't make the video at the time, but I've made a video on this channel as to why you should quit playing sports, okay? And my logic was, when you're playing like football or whatever, you're playing, you know, a cardio-based sport and you're running around and whatever, you can't get in as good a shape as you possibly could, okay? And here's my logic. Like, and some people say, yeah, but look at Ronaldo. He's on steroids, right? People like Ronaldo and whatever, most sports stars are on steroids. But number two, they're getting paid to do that. That's their full-time job. It's different, okay? If you're doing full-time, if you're doing like training every Wednesday and then every Saturday you're playing a football match and you're putting like hours of your week out into this thing and then it's affecting your body because you're doing relentless cardio, and you can't ever really get in shape in the gym because, you know, the extra cardio, sprinting around and being in football shape and having to be a little bit lighter is stopping you from doing that. And then you're going on like a night out or something and you're the skinny guy and you're not getting any goals and yet you're not getting paid to play football. Like, that was my logic. I was like, what the fuck is this about? I was like, I might as well quit football. Just kiss goodbye to those days, you know, become rubbish at it. Well, you never become rubbish when you've done it for so long, but like become less good at it and just go and focus on like weights and getting in shape and building a decent body. Because then in the last 6 years, the frame that I have now being a little bit bulkier, it hasn't been quite 6 years, but I'm talking about like building towards that, has allowed me to have an amazing life in 99.9% of life. In that tiny 0.01%, I went and played a charity football match. So it's like, yeah, well, it really paid off because I'm not getting paid for those games. I'm not getting paid to play football. Do you know what I mean? And I realized, so like we all met up with friends or whatever, you're seeing new people and whatnot. And like, I'll tell you guys truthfully, like when I was young, I was fucking amazing, right? I would sit here and tell you if I wasn't. I was fucking legit at football. Like very, very high level. It was very rare that I found somebody that was better than me. I could probably count them on one hand. People that I actually played against that I thought, hey, he's better than me. And they were usually a year or two older. Like I had some Brazilian kids that I played against in Amsterdam. They were unbelievable, like, but they were 2-3 years older. And it's just like, I was very fucking good. I was very quick, very skillful, could score goals, good at defending. I was a very good player. And I did some amazing shit in my football career, like throughout the youth academies and whatever, and people saw that at school and everything. Like, people knew. When I saw my kind of friends were all catching up and like people from the area and whatnot, nobody remembered. Literally nobody gave a shit, nobody remembered. People are like, nah, you weren't that good. I remember, no, like, and they were genuinely serious, right? If they were winding me up, I'd know the difference. But people were just like, yeah, you were okay, you were pretty quick, but you weren't that good. And it's like, out of everybody in our area, I'm the only one that made it onto a football game. I'm on Championship Manager I don't know which one, 2012, 2013, something like that. I'm on one of those games, so I was clearly the best player, right? And at school, I was always the best player. I was always winning all the awards, but people are like, oh, that guy was better than you. No, that guy was the best player. No, that guy, and they forget how good you were. the point I'm making is I'm not pissed off. I couldn't care less, right? I'm an entrepreneur now. This is where my focus is. I focus on lifestyle. There's more to life, you know, and I don't think footballers get paid that much. You know, people, oh, they get paid like $1 million a month. It's like, yeah, but the career is so short. I'd rather be a businessman, entrepreneur who's making half of what they're making per week, but you're getting that for 50 years. Do you know what I mean? That's a much better life. And theirs comes to a massive grinding halt, and they got to find something else to do, whereas mine could potentially do that till the day I die. So like when I look at it, I'm like, okay, I actually prefer the route I'm on now. I can drink, I don't have to stay in amazing cardio shape. I can go out till 4 a.m. and fuck women, get up the next day and continue as normal, rather than like, oh, I got a game tomorrow. Like I didn't really like that lifestyle. But the main point I'm making, guys, is I was right. I was right to quit football 6 years ago. Because here was my logic, right? Is I used to go into pubs with my dad, and my dad would be like, oh, this is so-and-so, and he'd talking to me, like, this is so-and-so. There's some drunk old guy at the bar like this. All right, mate? He just kind of turns to you. And you'd be like, yeah, you're right, buddy. And my dad would be like, he was a fucking good player back in the day. He was quick, skillful, used to score loads of goals. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, really? Great. Couldn't care less. Didn't give a shit. I explained that in the other video. Look at how in a short space of time, nobody gives a shit about my career. Nobody gives a shit about what I did in football. Nobody remembers any of the goals I scored except me. Nobody remembers how well you played, all the trophies you won, the fact I was being talked about as like one of the best young players in my like age category in like the whole of like Southwest County, whatever. There were like scouts coming to watch me play. Nobody remembers that. Literally nobody. Nobody remembers me having a 75 assist season and winning every single trophy, manager's player, player's player, captain's player, winning all those trophies, whatever throughout the year. Nobody remembers it. You know, nobody remembers you scoring like 200 goals for the school team. It's all gone. Nobody remembers you being quick at running. Like it just all goes. It's mental, right? Like on the day it's probably the quickest I've ever ran in my life. I felt, because I've been doing leg training, I felt quick as fuck, which was, you know, kind of like a plus for me. I just wanted to do 90 minutes and feel quick. Because if I'm still fast and I can do 90 minutes, then my body is still in good shape. It's like my logic, and that's what I ticked. But to think nobody gave a shit, okay? And this is what I've learned from playing football the first time in 6 years. You just got to do everything for you. You got to be so selfish. You got to be so selfish in life. Because there's lads that have continued playing, and they've spent a lot of time dedicated to football, you know, training, staying in shape, and they look like little boys still. They're really skinny. It hasn't done their bodies too good. They don't look great. Their lives out off the pitch are rubbish. And you're like, was that worth it? Yeah, my little cousin played. It's worth it at his age, 15 years old. He's trying to be a professional footballer. Go for it. But the day he turns 18, I'd say to him, just nip it in the bud. You're not getting paid for it. It's pointless. And I realized that day I was driving back and I was like, because here's the thing. I played okay. I got better as the game went on because you get used to it. Your legs start getting, you know, but like cardio was okay. Do you know what I mean? Like you're a bit like, fuck, I better take a break here. I'm blowing out my arsehole. I'm 3 stone heavier than I was before, like 20 kilograms heavier, right? I'm not going to be the same as I was. But I felt powerful, quick. It was all coming back slowly. So like I was driving back and I was like, I couldn't care less how I played. I couldn't care less about the result either. But I was like, I'm so glad that I made that decision all those years ago, because there's so many guys that were there that day that did fully commit to football and that became their whole life and they just didn't want to quit and whatever, but they've lost hours and hours and hours playing football, not focusing on the things that mattered, you know, not building up that hyper masculine character because they're sprinting around all the time. You can't quite put the weight on. Do you know what I mean? You can't go and lift heavy weights and build your biceps and your pecs because it'll make you too slow for football or whatever sport you play. You know, so it's like if you're not being paid for it, I know it's enjoyable and I know some people do get a kick out of it, but the earlier you can quit and the earlier you can go and focus on your own shit, the better. Now here's the thing, right? For when I was really young and I was working on this business, I still played football. And so I would work 6 days a week and then go and play football on the Saturday. And then I'd probably work on the Sunday as well, whatever, like that's the 6 days, right? That was nice. It was a nice little break. It freshened things up. But if I was like, looking back in hindsight, I'm like, that was fun, but I wish I just was doing what I was doing now. I wish I just fucking sped everything up. I just think to myself, why was I doing that? Why was I playing football? Why was I going training? Why wasn't I getting in crazy shape and doing exactly what I'm doing now 6, 7 years earlier, 8 years earlier, 9 years earlier? I could have been, First Man could have been 10 years ahead of where it is now. Do you know what I mean? All these like little distractions. And I drove back feeling so happy that I made that decision 6 years ago to go from Mr. Football, who loved it like nothing you've ever seen, to I'm going to quit and I'm going to go and focus on what really matters in life. Because at the end of the day, when I'm 45 years old, what I did when I was 18 with a football isn't going to pay my bills. Isn't going to, I'm not going to have the most beautiful woman in the world on my arm because I scored a couple goals at 14 at school football. Do you see what I mean, guys? So it's like, yeah, for Ronaldo, Messi, yeah, well, that's true. The reason they've got the woman that they've got and the life they've got, yes, because of football. But if you don't make it and you're not going to get paid for it and whatever, get the fuck out of there. And it was so nice on that day because I had like a real solid confirmation that the decisions that I had made in those years were fucking bang on. They were 100% accurate. Because on the football pitch, were there players that were better than me? Yeah. They're still playing. They're still they're fresh. Do you know what I mean? Like, sharpness is everything in sports. Like, if I don't box for a week, my arms don't move the same. My hands don't move the same. The punch speed's not quite there. If I've trained 2 or 3 times that week boxing, you just slick. Do you know what I mean? Your footwork's amazing. So 6 years, you're not going to be as good as you used to be. But as soon as we stepped off that pitch, I take my top off, whatever. I'm a jacked, I think, decent-looking guy. I go and get in my Range Rover. I was doing a speech in front of everybody. I was confident. I felt like powerful. Do you know what I mean? You got money in the bank. It's like I get to go back. I went to a restaurant, went and sat down, had food. A woman that I knew came and joined me. She was just walking past. It was organic. I was like, yeah, just sit down. So it's just like my life outside, off the pitch. Fucking amazing. I'd much rather that than the little ego play of like, sitting in a bar when you're 60 years old and somebody's like, he used to be a good player, mind? Like, do you know what I mean, guys? So it's just a confirmation. It's almost a part 2 of why I quit sports. And it also has a knock-on effect. Because we're talking about just football, sports here, because it's relevant to me and why I did it for my physique and whatever. But this could hold true in so many different areas. This could be like, oh, I used to go out and get drunk with all my friends. We used to do cocaine every Saturday, right? And you quit. And then 6 years later, you see those friends, or you something happens and whatever. Or you go and have a night out and get fucked off your face. And you kind of look at it and you go, I'm so glad I haven't been doing that all that time. I'm so glad I'm not where they are. I'm so glad I quit at that moment. So it can get literally, it could be the gym too. If you just decided to start the gym and you look back 6 years later and all your friends are skinny, you'd be like, fuck, thank God I started. Otherwise I'd be where they are today. Or it doesn't have to be just friends, but I'm just saying, you see guys that are 35 years old. They're like, I wish I started the gym when I was young. And they're just some skinny, awkward looking guy. And you're like, fuck, I'm so glad I did what I did when I did it. That's weird. But that's my point to you guys, is try as hard as you can to make those progressive decisions when you're young and have that foresight to be in 10 years time, I will thank myself. Because it's so nice upon reflection for me to look back and say, hey guys, I was right about the male advantage. That shit's bang on. I was right about the football thing. That shit was bang on. Quitting sports to get a better physique and have a better all-round life. That was brilliant. It was the correct decision. So, be mindful of that, guys, especially you young guns that are in your early 20s, early teens, or late teens, whatever. Be mindful of that, to be am I realistically going to make it in sports here? Am I realistically going to get a job at the end of this 4-year uni course in the industry that I want? Do I really want to be doing that? No. Okay, so those 4 years will be better spent focusing on that one thing that in 10 years' time, I will thank myself for doing. I'm at that point in my life now where a lot of 10-year decisions are paying off. And I just want to say to you guys, if you fully commit and you know in your heart of heart that right now it sucks, because quitting football hurt me. Do you know what I mean? I was like, fuck, I've done this since I was 4 years old. This is shit. And I thought I was going to be professional. My whole life was football. That's all I did. And, it really hurt. But to make that transition and to have it confirmed on the other side, to be that was the correct thing to do. Because I now make more money than pretty much every single footballer outside of the top divisions. So Championship and below in the UK. Some of them are on a little bit more, but most of the players in the Championship or below, and then all the other leagues around the world, they don't pay that much money to anybody outside the top league. So it's I could be 2 years away from earning as much as footballers do, but I would be at an age where their careers would be ending, whereas mine's only going higher and higher. And that's my decision that's been confirmed. That's what I saw coming. I could see that things weren't going to pan out for me. I could see I wasn't going to get paid. And that's what I learned from my dad's charity football match. It was a good day though, guys. I wish we recorded some of it. It was nice to play football again. It was quite funny, but you know, I was wondering if I'd get the itch to play again. And as soon as the game was over, I was like, no, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I did that. It's almost like the other side of male life that I've spoken to you guys about before. One of my friends, we've been friends since we were like 1 year old. He was like, how'd you feel, mate? I was like, feel fucked, to be honest. My body is fucked. That's why you guys saw me drinking plastic water bottles. I never do that. And I was just slamming them down because I was so thirsty. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Just give me like 6 of them. And I said to my friend, he was like, oh, like, do you think you'll get back into it? I was like, mate, truth be told, I wasn't that great out there today. I wasn't bad. I was probably like out of a 10, I would have given myself like a 6, maybe the benefit of a 7 with my second half performance as I got into it. But I said to him, I was like, I would rather be in Paris with a beautiful model, you know, walking around fucking art museums and going for foods and enjoying life and whatever than being on a fucking football pitch now, right? It doesn't appeal to me like it used to because I've seen the other side of male life and how great things can be. I don't need 22 guys on a pitch because that's how many players there'll be for you Americans and whatnot. I don't need 22 guys and the referee, the managers, the linos and the people watching, small little pool of 100 people to be like, great game today, mate. Well done. I'll buy you a pint in the pub. Like, it doesn't mean a lot to me. I would much rather, like I said, be in Milan at Fashion Week promoting my own brands with a straight 10 model who's my girlfriend on my arm. You know, and I'm getting in my nice car and we're going for food. Like, that experience is a 10x on 100 local people thinking you're a great player. And then 10 years later, they all forget that you were even good because that's what's happened to me. So it's just like, focus on yourself, guys. If somebody's like, come play for my team, we really need you this year, but you know that you've got better shit to accomplish because that's what I had. Please sign on another year. Do you want to come play for us? I was like, no, because there's no benefit in it for me. It helps everybody else. It's great for the short term. Long term, they just kind of forget how good you were. So it's like, I might as well put all my time, effort, and money into myself. I might as well use that one day that would be sacrificed. And also, like I said, I went to a restaurant afterwards. I went and had like 4,000 fucking calories. I was slamming pizzas like you've never seen because I was shattered. I was so tired. I didn't hit the gym for like 4 days. Like, that's not good. Like, I used to wake up after football and be limping for like 2-3 days, injuries, whatever. Like, it's not, if you're not being paid for it, it's the dumbest thing that you can possibly do. I know it's fun, but the earlier you can quit that shit, like I've just proven, the better your life will be moving forward. I promise you guys, okay? So that's what I learned from playing, you know, not playing football for 6 years or playing football for the first time in 6 years.